Okay, we are blocking in our values with a gloss glazing liquid, and this is part one. I sort of feel like at this moment in time, like from the future of me talking, looking back on this, I would just use gloss glazing liquid for all of my portraits and kind of skip the matte medium. Now that I've had like a lot of portraits under my belt, the gloss glazing medium pretty much accomplishes everything that I want to do. Alright, this is what I'm talking about. By having your gloss glazing liquid off to the side and your paints mixed, you can add your paint to the gloss without worrying if the gloss is affecting your mixed paint. So I have a feeling that this is probably going to go a lot better than the last painting session that you just watched. Hopefully. And my paints look mixed a little bit better. You can kind of tell already, the gloss glazing liquid is just so much smoother. It goes on smoother. It's easier to blend. I highly recommend it for skin tones. And honestly, I don't know if there is another medium out there for acrylic that does this, which is like very similar to oil. And that is like allowing the blending process and the glazing process to build up your layers. And to be completely honest, it kind of looks like I'm fixing some of my mistakes that I made in the last video. And I think those mistakes could have been avoided if I just cleaned my palette and started over and just stuck with the gloss glazing liquid like I'm doing right now. So I'm not sure if these were on two separate nights or not, but I can tell that I'm doing a lot of correcting from what I did in the painting session before. Now, at the moment, I know that he has like kind of a mustache, or like, what do we call it, like a 5 o'clock shadow right here. So I want to kind of focus on how I lay that in, and it appears at the moment that I'm just not even focusing on it at all, but just focusing on the skin around it. Here's a really good example. Like, it's dark, but it's not as dark as I remember his, is it 5 o'clock shadow? As the mustache area like was in the photo. And I think that's really important because you're kind of focusing on, like, a person is not like only beard, they have skin underneath it. And so it's good to just add that skin in first, and then later on when you add the beard on, it does appear, because you're using transparent glazes, it does appear that you can see like the skin values underneath, like the shape of the mouth, the shape of the chin. And that's gonna help you avoid like kind of awkward facial hair. It's just making sure you're focusing on the skin underneath first, and then later on you can focus on the hair. And by not touching the beard at all, that texture that we've gotten from, I don't know, the last glaze probably is actually starting to even have that beard-ish texture already without having to do anything. So that's kind of like a really, really happy accident. And the cheek area can be kind of tricky because we want to, like, I know a lot of times you just want to focus on like the highest part of the cheek, but because it does like shape in one direction and then wrap around in a different direction, and then there's a part on the top, and like, it's really important to not think of it as a shape that you imagine it in your mind, but to kind of like think of it as a structure that has like it's almost like a triangular shape. This is weird. But yeah, so pay attention to the information that it has been given to you on your photograph, and see, like, is it a warmer value? And by warmer, I mean, like, does it appear more yellowy or orangey or red? Or does it appear more blue, purple, or green, which would be a colder value. So if that's the case, you would probably want to introduce, you know, a different type of red, which I will talk about in the next video. At the moment, we're only laying in our warm reds using our Cad Red Light, but that is something else that we can play with in the future, and you'll see that with the next video, so ignore that. Don't get bogged down with that information right now. Let's just focus on what's going on. I haven't touched the teeth yet. I'm kind of just working around it because I know I'm probably gonna have to focus my attention on that, so it's kind of like I'm working around up to that point. But the good thing is because we have that background layer, it's already sort of natural. You're kind of getting that fleshy tone of the gums already there. So like anything else, we're just going to be we're going to be filling in our values, which is our light and dark paint. And at the moment, it appears that I am kind of softening some of those highlights that I had in by using in between values, my middle values. And all I mean by that is if you have your high value, which is like pure white, and your darkest value, which is like pure black, when you put those next to each other, it's really harsh. You want kind of the gradient in between your middle values to create a shape to make it look like it's curving, because we want to keep, like, every part of the face does have like curve to it because of the way the skin folds around your skull. Anyhow, we'll save that thought and move on to the next video.